What is going on, YouTube people? Neo Cards and Comics here for a little unplanned Saturday video. I was not planning on recording anything today, or potentially I was going to pull something out of the live stream from earlier this week with me, Steven, Kenny Fornos. But an unexpected interview popped up in my podcast feed, and Michael Rubin, the CEO of Fanatics, was on with Bill Simmons on the Bill Simmons Podcast. And I would highly recommend checking out the entire podcast. One, I'm a big fan of the Bill Simmons Podcast to begin with, but this was an hour-long interview in the back half of this podcast. And there was 3 particular clips that I found interesting. And I did not know that this was coming. It popped up today, listened to it, and found it insightful. And we don't hear from Michael Rubin as much as we do Josh Luber. So, this is the CEO of the entire Fanatics company versus, Josh, who's just in charge of the trading card division. So, the first clip that we're going to listen to is him talking about why he targeted the sports card market, if you will. So we're going to listen to that real quick. It's like 2 minutes, and then we'll pop back in. I got a few comments, and then we'll move on to the next one, so on and so forth. So like, comment, subscribe. Let's go ahead and dive in.
Then I looked at trading cards, and I realized that here was this really, actually pretty big business that was like, had a lot of opportunity to make a much better experience for the collector. Say you had, multiple trading card companies that manufacture trading cards. They sell them to distributors, not to retailers. Those distributors sell them to retailers. The retailers sell them to resellers who put the cards on eBay, who sell them to a collector.
Right.
And we're like, wait a second.
There's 19 middlemen.
Yeah, there's so many people in the middle. And we kind of, in the merchandise business that we started, we kind of went more direct to consumer, and that built a better business. Here, there's an opportunity to really continue to push the direct to consumer business and really improve the collector experience by giving the collector other services they'd want. So, for us.
So you're looking at it like, here's this business that has a lot of potential, but it's cluttered and there's lots of middlemen. And you're in this, you have Fanatics where you're like, you just go, I want a Mac Jones jersey. And I go to you and it's at my door a couple of days later.
By the way, we make that Mac Jones jersey.
Right.
We sell that jersey. We put them in the Patriot store. We put them at the NFL shop. We put them at Fanatics. We put them at Dick's Sporting Goods. And so when we saw the trading card business, what we realized was that, first, this is an industry that had so much opportunity to really grow. Even though there's been great growth in the last couple of years, realistically, this is like a financial asset that young people are really getting into. And it's like an alternative investment class. And it's also something that's just, it's really something that could be so much bigger. So I looked and said, could we grow this industry 10 times, 20 times, 30 times? I thought, yes. And we could build a more direct consumer business. Well, having the hobby shop still be a vital part of what we're doing, but build so many other services the collector wants. Today, it's pretty hard to be a collector. Like, you go out, you buy trading cards, and you buy them from one place, then you got to get them shipped to you, then send them to get graded somewhere else. And then, where do you store them? And then, you got to then list them on eBay, then you ship them to somebody else. And like, the idea of creating one kind of integrated end-to-end collector's experience is a major unlock. And at the same time, I think Fanatics, it's kind of this, I look at ourselves as a steward for the industry. We have a massive opportunity to really grow this industry exponentially. So my goal for trading cards would be like, how do we make this industry 10 times, 20 times, 30 times bigger in a decade from now than it is? And, this is an industry, there's really been no marketing of trading cards. Like I said to somebody the other day, it's a really big business. There's no marketing. Like, we're going to get in here and figure out how do we really market and grow the industry.
It's all underground shit and friends telling friends and eBay and,
So it's not necessarily anything we haven't speculated on before, but it's very interesting to hear it direct from Rubin's mouth as he talks about, and once again, we've talked about this a bunch on the channel, one of the big reasons that he targeted this industry was because of the number of middlemen that he and his company could essentially cut out to maximize more profit. He ran it down right there. One place sells it to another place, 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 and then it ends up in the end user's hands. He wants to cut a lot of that out. And as we've talked about a lot, if I was a distributor of sports cards, I would not be feeling great. Now, he does specifically call out hobby shops as being vital. And that messaging has been going around. I don't know if I owned a hobby shop, how great I would be feeling about that. I would definitely, want to be absolutely sure that is the case. And until you see how things are going to work, you're probably not going to have a lot of faith in that. And I do believe if you are a hobby shop owner, you best be on the more progressive side, as in you best be willing to integrate technology, customer databases, probably doing stuff with social media, YouTube, content potentially. Those are going to be the people that they are going to be more willing to partner with versus, and no offense to these people, the 75-year-old guy that's doing all his things on pen and paper, the super old school, completely disorganized, still pricing things out of Beckett. If I was that sort of hobby shop that's just been kind of cruising along all these years, making their money based off just strictly having allocation, those are the people that I would be worried. The next big thing that he touches on there is marketing, and he touches on it there, but he gets more in depth on it in a later segment. So we're gonna go ahead and play that really quickly. And this one segment was the one that really blew my mind the most. So let's go ahead and listen to this one. This one's pretty short, and then we'll hop back in.
This is a big business. There's no marketing. There is no I don't think, I asked somebody yesterday, I'm like, what percentage of revenue do you think is spent on marketing in trading cards? And it was somebody who was a smart marketing person. They're like 10 to 15%. I said, how's less than 1%? It's less than 1%.
Jesus.
Okay. And
because they didn't feel like they needed to, because the card collectors were going to find the cards.
They didn't think that way.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking about how do I demonstrably grow the industry? How do I connect trading cards to all the, people that matter in the world? And so I think our overall mentality is going to be to invest in growth and to grow the industry. And so business has grown a lot in the last 3 or 4 years. Certainly, it was growing like crazy before.
Yeah. Pandemic.
This was the thing that blew my mind the most. Less than 1% spent on marketing, and it's not surprising because I'm a big sports fan. I watch NBA, I watch the MLB, I watch NFL. I'm active on social media and all these other different places. YouTube. I have never once seen a commercial for a trading card of any sort. So when you really think about that the industry is this big with basically no marketing behind it. And I'm guessing that 1% marketing is probably like trade shows and stuff like that. The fact that is all that they have done to this point, and the market / hobby / whatever you want to call it is this large now. This is part of the reason why I do have some faith in Fanatics in the long term and sports cards in general, because the fact that they are going to market the hell out of this, especially with the leagues as partners. You are going to see trading cards everywhere. Players doing rips, cards being talked about on broadcasts, promotions, all sorts of stuff. They are going to be all over the place because it's in the league and the players' best interest for this to succeed. Now, what happens between now and then? Are your Ja Morant, Zion Williamson base prisms going to be good investments? None of us know. No one knows. But it does make me at least feel bullish in regards to new people coming in. Now, that's probably going to be great for the all-time great cards. If there's new demand coming in, there's going to be a certain portion of those people that want to go backwards. But I do have faith that if nothing else, Fanatics will bring a new wave of people in. It might take a few years. There might be some dark days between now and then. Who knows? Nobody knows. But I do fully believe Fanatics will do their best effort to bring new people into the hobby. One last clip I want to get to, and that is in regards to them kind of streamlining this whole process and him kind of talking about that. So we'll hit that real quick and then wrap this puppy up.
Because I see the feedback on social media all the time. People realize in trading cards that having the right kind of vision in this industry will exponentially grow it, and figuring out how to build a much better collection experience. Could you think about, in a few years from now, if you could go to one place and you could, buy those, basketball cards that you just talked about in a direct-to-consumer format. And again, hobby shops are always going to be really important to us. But think about, you could buy more of it direct-to-consumer. You can then decide, you want it shipped to you? Do you want it graded? Do you want it stored? Do you want it insured? Do you want it financed? Do you want to put it in the secondary marketplace? Think about doing all of that in one place, how good the experience can be.
But there's a couple people doing that right now.
Yeah, but there's no one that's doing integrating the
That
primary
has the
cards
product. Yeah.
with the secondary. It all starts with the primary cards. So there's no one who's really thinking about doing it with the primary cards and then integrating the whole thing through.
Like somebody might say, I want to buy the box. Don't even mail it to me. Store it in some location. And you
Or
guys
how
are
about I
in
want it
charge of
broken? How about I want to buy the box and I want to put it into a break-in?
Yeah.
So there's so many different things you can do right now. So I'm a believer that this industry got to where it is today more on being in the right place at the right time. And
Yeah.
I don't want this to come across wrong because we have 350 great associates at Topps who work their asses off every day.
Yeah.
And, we're so fortunate to have them part of our company. There wasn't like a strategic plan that said, hey, here's where how we're going to get trading cards. We're going to create we're going to have great growth and we're going to have a pandemic come. And it's a lot of what happened was by good fortune. I don't believe in good fortune as a recipe for the future. I believe in like building a great product and being a great marketing company. And so we're going to really push the limits on, innovating from a product perspective. And we're going to start marketing for the first time. There is not a marketing function within the trading card industry. Like I can't wait to take some of the profits and invest back in marketing to get more collectors into this. Like there's only probably 5 million collectors of trading cards in the world.
Right.
Like I want there to be 50 million collectors or 500 million collectors. And so that's what we're thinking about.
So once again, at the end there, he talks about the marketing aspect of it and wanting to grow the base. And as we discussed in the previous segment, the interesting little tidbits in that one was, once again, which we kind of all assumed this was going to be coming, stuff like one big, long, streamlined experience and then bringing a lot of things in-house in regards to, I fully believe you will be able to log on to their website, buy a mega box of Topps Chrome basketball, and have it ripped live for you by one of their breakers or some such thing. Store the cards in their vault/warehouse, and then whoever they partner with grading, you would be able to ship the cards off directly from them. Basically, think Star Stock plus PWCC, plus alt with a partnership with a grading company or something like that, with a little eBay mixed in. That, I think, is their end goal. Now, will we see that right away? No, that's going to take some time to all set up. And both Rubin and Luber have both stated multiple times, and in fact, Luber stated it earlier this week at the Topps conference, that they want really, he strongly hinted at that they basically want no part of starting up their own grading company. At this point, anyway. Maybe way later on down the line, but I think their take is that there's just other people doing it a lot better. And I think they also kind of understand that we as a hobby want some separation of church and state there. That being said, I fully expect them to partner with someone. Now, the rumor is, that there's Blackstone stuff going on between them and CSG. So does that seem like a likely partner, especially with CGC/CSG doing the partnership with eBay? I don't know. Or do they look at them and say, hey, we want to go with the biggest and the best, has the most massive operation, and someone like PSA, because they're going to be able to handle the workload. And, we've been speculating, and this is pure speculation territory on me. What if this is already in the works? We've talked about before about PSA building the East Coast thing and expanding operations over and over again. And what is that going to mean for if they have enough demand to fill those slots? What if they're building this out not because of demand for end user consumers, but because they have a partnership coming with Fanatics and they need to have the capacity to handle all these direct submissions from Fanatics? Once again, I am purely speculating on all that, but the amount of money that Collectors Universe is pumping into something like this, maybe there is a little backroom deal going on that just hasn't been announced yet regarding, hey, boy, we sure would like a grading company that's very well respected, viewed at as the leader in the industry, and needs to be able to grade a boatload of cards. Wonder who that could be. So once again, I encourage you guys and girls to go check out the full interview on the Bill Simmons podcast. I hope these were the 3 most interesting clips that I came across, but there was lots of other good nuggets in there. So I encourage you to go check that out. Smash the like button if you haven't. Curious for your thoughts and comments down below on this one. Lots of good stuff in here. We will catch you guys and girls on the next one. Peace.